highly favored one of the Lord, I appreciate you joining me on the Healing Streams Reflection. The title for today's post is God the Controller, which seems to be in the runabout on the road of life. For most of us, life seems to be lived approaching, entering, navigating, or exiting a spiritual, emotional, or logistical runabout. Approaching. If you've ever approached a runabout at a major intersection, you know there are no traffic lights. Everything is in motion. If you're a passenger in a car in any metropolitan city in the world, for instance in London or in New York City, approaching a busy runabout can be a white-knuckle experience. Life can be that way as well. We look ahead to a situation on the horizon, new job, marriage, move to a new city, a crisis of some sort. And the closer we get, the more intimidating the situation becomes. We are tempted to turn down one of the life's side streets to gather our thoughts, all the while knowing that our destination demands entering the fray. Beloved, as I have said, life seems to be lived approaching, entering, navigating, or exiting a spiritual, emotional, or logistical runabout. What about entering? There are no lights or stop signs governing traffic that enters a runabout. It's every driver for him or herself. You have to pick an opening, beep your horn, give it the gas, and enter the flow, hopefully without crashing into another car. Entering a runabout is a step of faith, much like the choices we make in our daily life. Think how the Apostle Paul felt as he entered the realm of Christ's church as a hated man, navigating. If you are the kind of person who likes the bumper car ride at the county fair, then you will love driving in a large runabout. There are no lanes and everyone has 15 to 30 sounds to survive and prepare for the exit. In life, once we are committed to a decision, there can be bumps and starts and stops along the way, and we wonder if we will survive. Think how Job felt as he tried to navigate the period of his own suffering and loss. Exit. Assuming we have navigated the runabout correctly, we are positioned to exit and continue on our way. But sometimes the traffic is so dense we can't get in the proper lane to exit, and we are stuck going around for a second or third time as we try to maneuver into the right lane. The refrain, how long, is not only a familiar one in scripture, but in our lives as well. We find ourselves going round and round in one of life's runabout, wondering why God doesn't step in, stop the traffic, and wave us safely to our exit. The purpose of life's runabout. The late long-time pastor of Philadelphia's historic 10th Presbyterian Church, Dr. James N. Boyles, recounted this story about the complexity of life moments. Years ago, I had a watch that my father had given me when I graduated from high school. It was an unusual watch in that its back was transparent. You could look into it and see the mechanism working and the wheels turning. Some wheels went forward, some went backwards, some turned quickly, others slowly. There was a large mainspring and a few small hairsprings. There were levers that were popping up and down. The Christian life is like the parts of that watch. At times, the events of our lives move forward quickly, and we sense that we are making far progress in being made like Jesus Christ. At other times, events move slowly, and we seem to be going slowly ourselves, or even slipping backwards. James Montgomery Boyles. Romance Expositional Commentary, Volume 2. In spite of all the complexity of a timepiece, little of which we actually understand, when we turn it over and look at its face, it accomplishes its intended purpose. It tells us the time. Life runabouts are like the gears and levers in a finely built watch, fast, slow, backward, forward, ups and down. But the purpose is always accomplished. Beloved, no passage of scripture better explains the process and purpose of life's runabout than Romans 8:28 to 29. The purpose and process of life's runabout. Most Christians are familiar with Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. But not as many are as familiar with the context of that verse, and a verse out of context becomes a pretext for something God didn't intend. The word "know" forms a three-step outline in Romans 8, leading to verse 28. Verse 22, for we know that the whole creation groans and labors with birth pangs together until now. Verse 26, for we do not know what we should pray for. In the midst of life groans and labors. Verse 28, and we know that all things work for good. Isn't that beautiful? We know that life can be difficult. We often don't know how to respond or even pray, but we know that all things, even the difficult things, work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called to fulfill his purpose. Friends, those verses describe the process of life in a roundabout, scary, difficult, perplexing, even dangerous. Sometimes we are caught in the flow in life, unable to control what's happening around us. Being carried along by circumstances we are powerless to change. But we can know with confidence that God is in control of all things in our lives, causing them to work together for our good. Beloved, the process has lots of moving parts that we don't understand, like a runabout or the inside of a watch, but God is in control of them all. Why does he control them? because he has a purpose. There is a method to the madness of the runabout. God's purpose is to conform us to the image of his Son, that Christ might be the firstborn among many brethren. Verse 29, therefore, all things, verse 20, in our life are being used by God to get us to the other side of the runabout, to allow us to exit into eternity in the very image of Jesus Christ. How God does it is not always clear. That he is doing is the crystal clear from Scripture. Beloved, the next time you are approaching and entering and navigating or trying to exit one of life's runabout, remember what we know. God is using all things for his purpose of making you more and more like Christ. Thanks for listening, and may God richly bless you.